Hello, Rick.
Yeah, speaking.
This is Pete Peters.
Hi, Pete.
Good afternoon. Sorry it's taken us a little longer to get to you, but thank you for coming on. We're in the hearing, Rick.
Hello, everybody.
And would you state your name and spell your last name for us?
Yes, first name is Richard. Last name is Rukstalis, spelled R-U-K-S-T-A-L-I-S.
Thank you, Rick. Where do you live?
I live in Santa Maria, California, which is San Bernardino County. Or Santa Barbara County, I'm sorry, Santa Barbara County.
And you are trucking out of state, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And why is that?
Well, I own a 2005 Kenworth with a Caterpillar motor, and my truck is not CARB compliant.
Okay. And why is it not CARB compliant?
It does not have the aftermarket filter on it.
Okay.
In 2005, when I bought my truck brand new, it didn't come with a filter.
Can you
It
make?
wasn't a necessity yet.
Can you do the conversion?
Yeah, I can do the conversion, but the problem is it's $20,000. And from what I was told by Caterpillar, even though it's a $20,000 filter, it's like throwing money away. It might work, it might not work. It's a 50-50 chance. So if I buy the filter, put the filter on the truck, it might work, it might not work.
What are you seeing out there on the road with other drivers and their experience with their trucks operating with the conversion or with the filter?
A lot of trucks in the shop. A lot of guys breaking down. Guys that are running these newer trucks that are 2010 and newer that require the DEF fluid. In the wintertime, I'm seeing a lot of them breaking down because the fluid freezes in the tank, which in turn guys have to call wrecker to get pulled into a shop so they can figure out how to get the fluid from solid state back to fluid state.
So, and you're seeing truckers all over the nation, are you not?
Yes, I'm seeing it all over the country. It's especially back east in cold weather climates. In the wintertime, guys are breaking down more because the fluid that they have to use for the filters on the 2010 to newer trucks, they're freezing up. Now in the tank, from where I was explained, in the tank it has a heated tank, but the line that goes from the tank to the, I guess they call it a mister is what they call it, that goes into that filter, that's what's freezing up. And there's no way of keeping that line warm. You can try and do something, but guys say when it's minus 10 outside, well, the majority of that depth fluid is 75% water. Water freezes. 32 degrees, water freezes.
So then what do these truckers have to do when that happens?
They're getting towed into shops. They got to call a wrecker. And, depending, I've heard rumors of, anywhere from $500 tow bill up to $2,000 on a tow bill to have a truck and a trailer towed into a shop. And then the shop has to figure out how they're going to keep that line from freezing.
No.
Whether it be just replacing the line or whatever the case might be. I'm not too sure on that because different guys have done different things. Some guys have taken some heat tape and wrapped it. Some guys have just had the line replaced and just crossed their fingers and hope it doesn't happen again.
Rick, let's talk about operational costs. What are you learning out there in terms of the difference between the operating costs with and without this filter system?
I know guys that have put filters on the older trucks. They've noticed a decline in fuel mileage. Mile and a half a gallon loss is what they're losing. A friend put the filter on his truck, and he went from 6 miles a gallon down to 4.5 miles a gallon.
And with a trucker like you that's non-compliant, when you are making runs, you have to avoid California, true?
Yes, correct.
So that means you have to drive greater distances?
Yes, correct.
So could you describe what that amounts to, particularly in terms of fuel costs?
Well, here's the thing. I'll give you an example. This week, coming up, I'm loading out of Portland, Oregon, going to Las Vegas. It is 972 miles from Portland, Oregon to Las Vegas, and that is by going down Interstate 5 into California and going down around California 44, California 89, down through Susanville to 395, and going down through Reno. Now, because I cannot go to California, I have to run an extra 150 to 200 miles out of route, which means I have to go straight across Oregon. I have to pay Oregon road taxes at 18 cents a mile. Then I have to pay Idaho fuel tax. I'm going to have an extra 200 miles on my route. So not only am I paying 18 cents for every mile for Oregon miles, I have to pay my Idaho fuel tax for the miles that I run in Idaho, which is 26 cents a mile if I don't buy fuel there. And then I have to go down into Nevada and run extra Nevada miles. It's 200 extra miles. 200 extra miles at 6 miles a gallon. It's an extra 35 gallons at $3, $3.50 a gallon, $3 national average rate now. So just my national average is it's an extra $90 for my fuel. That's not including the road taxes and fuel taxes that I have to pay for these other states.
Okay. And
Plus maintenance, wear and tear on the truck, those are things that need to be factored in too. As far as, okay, now I'm running an extra 200 miles, okay, which in turn is extra 200 miles on tires, brakes, extra 200 miles on oil change, okay, so I change my oil every 15,000. Well, it's $300 a month to do an oil change every 15,000 miles. Well, if you can cut that extra 200 miles out, you're saving money extra that way too. And that's something they don't understand. It's just they think we need to spend this money and they're going to make us, I have to run out of route. I mean, it's money that's coming out of my pocket that shouldn't have to come out of my pocket.
so, and lastly, Rick, you live in Santa Maria. You can't drive in California. Tell the folks here how you have to deal with that when you want to get home.
Well, I want to go home. What I try and do is go into Las Vegas, park my truck in Las Vegas, and I jump on an airplane and I fly home. It costs me $140 round trip every time I want to go home. I try and go home once a month for a week. Sometimes I don't make it to Las Vegas. Sometimes when it's time I'm ready to go home, I might be in Chicago. And with where I live in Santa Maria, I live on a piece of property, 300 acres, that I can bring my truck home and park in my driveway. Well, because of CARB and the rules that they have, and because I'm not legal, I can't take my truck home. So when I leave my truck somewhere, like in Vegas, if I park it, or if I clear across the country and I park it, and I leave, I might fly back to wherever my truck is at, and it might be stolen. It might be somebody may have backed into it and hit the hood. Things can be stolen off of it. I could come back to a truck that's been broken into.
Well, okay.
And my insurance isn't going to cover, if someone brings in my truck and steals stuff out of my truck, my insurance isn't going to cover that.
Anything else you'd like to offer, Rick?
As far as my opinions on this,
You're free to state your opinion.
my opinion, we need to do something that it's not it's not only hurting the trucking industry, but it's hurting other industries. Doing the freight that I haul, hauling trade show freight, specialty freight like I do. I lost out on all my California freight. No more going to the San Francisco to convention centers. No more going to the Los Angeles or Anaheim convention centers. And I'm not the only one that I know of that can't go in. Friends of mine with the carrier that I'm leased to, we do some trade show freight, and this is money that we're bringing into the state of California for these conventions. And because these trucks can't haul it, and these trucks are not legal, this is money that California loses. They're losing out on fuel taxes, road taxes. It's going to start hurting farmers, agriculture. I think everybody that lives in California knows agriculture is our #1 industry. And it's going to hurt the agricultural industry.
And tell us what's happening to the farmers and the berry crop and so forth.
Well, with farmers, my in-laws own a farm, 300 acres. We grow strawberries, raspberries, and broccoli. What's going to end up happening is, and I noticed that last year, every time I would come home and I would fly home, less and less compliant trucks hauling out of Santa Maria. I noticed that last year, with the less trucks, there was less trucks in town. What's going to happen, and I see it's going to happen eventually, is people like Driscoll Berry and stuff that we sell our berries to, we pick strawberries and raspberries every day. And what's going to come down to it is that they don't have enough compliant trucks to haul this stuff out of the coolers and stuff. The berry buyers are going to come to us and they're going to tell the farmers, well, instead of picking 5 acres every day, we want you to pick 5 acres every other day, or 3 acres a day, or 2 acres a day. We don't want you doing 5 acres a day because we can't move the product quick enough because it sits in our pool. The longer a strawberry has a short shelf life. So as quick as it comes out of the field, they get it chilled, they get it on the truck, they get it moved. If these berries are sitting in the field or sitting in the cooler, Driscoll Berry is losing money, and the farmer is going to lose money. He's going to lose money on his crops.
Okay, Rick. All right, let me see if any of the panelists have any questions. Yes.
Sure.
We have a couple questions coming, Rick. Rich, I keep calling you Rick, sorry.
Yeah, this is Gary Catt. What do you feel about the interstate commerce clause and how that's helping you?
I couldn't hear what you said there.
He's asking your opinion. How is the interstate commerce provision under the U.S. Constitution? How do you feel that's helping you, if at all?
It's not helping us at all. I mean, freight going into California, once again, if you don't have a compliant truck, I mean, I know certain customers that tell us we have to have a CARB compliant truck. They won't load anybody if you come in there with an older truck. They won't load you at all, and it hurts business.
No, it's kind of a legal question too. Yes, you should be protected by the interstate commerce provision, and there just may be an issue there for us to address, Rich.
Well, it's a free trade market as far as I'm concerned. The United States is a free trade market. I should be able to do my business in California just as much as a compliant hauler is able to do business in California. When I bought my truck in 2005, I was told by Caterpillar, by Kenworth, that my truck was CARB compliant, that my truck was compliant for the year that I bought my truck. Now, all of a sudden, it's 2015. My truck is 10 years old, and they're telling me that my truck's not compliant. Now, how is it in 10 years I went from being compliant to being non-compliant?
Do you have any thoughts about how you're being affected by NAFTA? That's the trade with Mexico and
I really can't say that because I'm leased to a carrier. I mean, if I was on my own, I don't know if I'd see effects of it or not, but being leased to a carrier, it's hard to tell. I think I really can't judge that because of the carrier that I'm with, because they have freight on
Okay. I'm going to go to another question. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Sylvia Milligan, and I'm not sure, does your truck, has it had the opacity test?
The question is, have you had an opacity test on your engine?
Yes.
Okay,
And what did you show?
I don't have the paperwork in front of me, but I was told that I would need to have the filter.
That you would meet the requirements of California?
That I would need to have the filter, yes.
Oh, that you would need to have a filter. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I would need to have the filter, yes.
do
Okay.
you have children, and if so, what are their ages?
Do you have children? And if so, their ages?
No, I do not have children.
Okay, so when you were working in California, and now you're working out of state, are you averaging approximately the same amount of time at home, or do you have less time at home now than you did before you worked out of state?
I guess the question is, are you able to spend as much time as at home now as you did when you were in state?
No. Being gone, being out of California, I mean, you have to realize that plane flight and parking fees, because that's a cost. That's a cost that's not factored into my business that now has to be factored into my business. I mean, flying home isn't free. I mean, if I was able to come home with my truck, and haul freight in and out of California, it would be a cost free. But now I have another cost added to my business.
And a risk.
Yes, and a risk of my truck being installed and broken into.
Red?
Two very quick. I'm curious, now that he's no longer California compliant, what state is his truck registered in?
What state is your truck currently registered in?
My truck is registered out of the state of Illinois.
Okay. And my second question is, have you seen an increase of rate from the shipper to compensate for the extra mileage?
Have you seen any increase in the rate from the shipper to compensate you for the mileage?
No, there's not a rate increase. It's judged on when I book a load with the carrier that I'm with, it is booked on short miles. They're not compensated. I can go to the customer and say, well, I got to run 200 extra miles to go to Las Vegas because I can't go through California, and they're going to tell me, well, that's your own problem.
Yeah.
So there's no extra compensation there, no.
That's a predictable response. Anything else? Okay, Rich, I can't thank you enough where are you right now?
I am in Portland, Oregon in the rain today.
Oh, all right. Okay, Rich, well, stay safe out there, and thank you so much for helping us.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Bye now.